Did you know Jesus defines Holy Spirit? In Mark chapter 13, verse 11, the yellow highlighted text that you see, Jesus teaches sometimes the words people say are not their own words. The words are from or by Holy Spirit. And in Matthew chapter 10, verse 20, Jesus teaches, Holy Spirit is our Father's word speaking from your mouth. Now, I did some editing in the blue and green highlighting, and the word in, and I had to add the word through, because we have 4 examples of our Father's words. The first example, Luke chapter 1, verse 67, tells us when Zacharias declared John's the Baptist's life, these words had to be said by our Creator, for he prophesied John's life. The second example we have is Luke chapter 1, verse 41, when out of Elizabeth's mouth she declared Mary's son is blessed. These 2 verses prove their words were our Creator's words coming from their mouths. The third and fourth example are in Luke chapter 12, verse 12, and Matthew chapter 12, verse 28, where Jesus teaches our Creator's words will be said in their mind, and then they are to say his words. Other examples of our Creator's words coming to their mind are in the Hebrew text, where the prophets are being told to go out, and then our Creator will tell them what to say. Thus, Jesus teaches us there is no Trinity. In chapter 4 of 2 Kings, I had Isaiah here, or Elijah. Let's see. He had told a woman about having a child, and who became actually a son. So the thing here is this text that you're seeing here was when he became sick and she ran to Elijah. Now, what I'm doing is showing the first writer's formats, and what I'm trying to do, or trying to make sure you understand, is that I'm using 2 major words to complete a verse, okay? And then I'm adding the least amount of small words as I can. I think I used he was too important of a word, so I could get away with this word. And then I forgot what I was saying there. I'd make them into a small paragraph. Okay, and this is a 4-verse format, where the first verse is a comma, and then it connects and makes a sentence, and it repeats itself to make this paragraph. Now, what they done was they did make another paragraph as well, and these 2 kind of combine together as like a larger paragraph. And so I put a double space between to show this. Now I got to move this down, get it prepped for the next, because when I get done with these videos, I come back and I put them together all cleaned up. As you can see, I got a lot of editing. Well, that text I just threw out. I don't want words that are untrue or made up, or what I feel is things that they added that makes no sense to the text. Now this guy's name, he's a captain of the army for the king of Aram. So this is what I do when I'm adding or changing a word. And I put it over here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if it's a 3-verse format or not. Not man, but a male. Oops. Male. don't know the difference, creator's definition for words is what I'll be using. Man represents male and female. This has to have a captain. Now this, it might be a commander. So that's when I'm adding a word. I'll make sure it's italicized until the final text what I'm adding. This fuchsia colored words are words that they added in 1977 NSAB, which I'm using. And those of you who have been around will notice that I have that Bible program that has the NSAB 1977 NSAB coordinates. So let's see here. Was a great male. So this would be maybe the writer writing the story after he had died. So maybe that is a 2-verse, which would be, this is the sentence, and this is the sentence. His master, which actually is king, is king, respected him. Now, being this is a foreign nation, not a nation or kingdom, let me see if I got text that can help us out here, or maps. One, there's a timeline of kings. Okay, and down here I put the kings for Aram. So it's going to be one of these kings that we're talking about. Now the story is that at one time he lost East Manasseh. This king here for Israel lost East Manasseh. I've got a story here that they were still fighting these kings from Aram here at this time, and then they started another battle here, but it doesn't really tell us the victory. Now Elijah, who ascended into heaven, he is a prophet under this king, and a little bit of this king, I believe. I put down probably 36, I usually put a lifespan of 65 years, and they don't really become a prophet until usually about, I would say, depending on what our Creator needs done, but most of them seem to be at the age of 16 to 18 that they start making themselves known, but as a prophet. But this king is going to die because of this king. Now that means that you got to understand this is Israel that I'm talking about here as a nation. Now it is this side. This is from Jesus's time when they named these three as this, although I changed this name here. But here, so don't pay attention to this. This is all Israel. This is not the promised land. This is land that Moses gave to him as a promised land. This is the promised land over on this side. Now, this is where the king has made himself the capital city of Israel. And I think they've had 3 now, according to the text that I'm doing now. So what do I have here? I've got, the story starting out that it's going to be a captain for the army, for the king for Aram. And his king respected him. I'm trying to see if there's 3 verse or 4 verse here yet. Now see the time of this. Oops, I guess I got to go over here and get another map. Because in my head I've got to do this right as well, just to make sure so I'm editing the story correctly. So this kind of gives me an excuse to think while I'm doing this as well. So, all right, Aram already took over East Manasseh. Later they come down here and they were trying to take Gad. When the story I've already done is the 2 kings went out, and then King Ahab died in this last battle. That's how he died. So is this area taken over, or is it still undisputed? I don't know. The text really doesn't tell us that answer. With the land structure, they got to be battling here. And if they got a victory, then they've also now taken this. They fought wouldn't have to tell you. They didn't take it in the first time. They only got Manasseh over here. Male. It's also. We know he had to be a great warrior, so this. That makes sense putting it here. We already know he's a captain and he's a great male, so this. I have to put up here. Get rid of all this. This has to be head. Leprosy. Changing that. Getting rid of this. I don't know how to spell leprosy. So I'll just do this for right now. Okay, and then this I got to get rid of. One, two, three, four. I have to go down here and see if it's a 3 or 4 verse still. Still don't know that answer. No, the Armenians. Now this means this was a marauding band. Bands is what came out at a raid. Now the Armenians. raiding. And now this has to be I'm writing how the writer would write the story, whether I would change this from removing had and just say took a captive. Now this is going to be Israel, and they're not going to be known as a good nation, so that's where I designate to help the reader out by saying, when you see this in small caps, this is the nation that is not onto a crater. So from the land for Israel. So this land would have to still be the promised land, and I designated this. Now that seems to be the end of the statement. This is going to be here. Now the Armenians had gone out raiding and had taken captive this would have to be a woman. Now, why am I used a woman? A girl is really used to be like between at 15 or at 13 to 14, they were able to be married. And so the thing here is that defines a woman. Okay, before 13, I would say here we're talking about using the definition for the word girl. Girl too young would not know what she's going to say here. So I have to say a woman from Israel. Now, this means this is a 4 verse. This is definitely telling me that this is a 4 verse. Okay. Now that means I got this one right. This one because and I'm going to use his name here. Because Naaman had given this doesn't make sense here. So how do I fix this? And his king respected him because Naaman had given him victories, this being the king. But the male had leprosy. Okay. Now, this would be two groups to go here for the story is started. And it's a good start. So I have to say, now here, I got to have one verse here. Now the Armenians had gone out raiding and taken captive a woman from Israel. She waited on, she served. She was a servant to, okay, so I've got to get this right first. And she was, this all sounds like it's going to be written after they had passed away. There's something like that to, because I always try to figure out as I'm editing how the writer is writing, and it's writing in a past tense. And was servant. Now this says his wife, and that wouldn't be right. Unless she became a servant. Now we have her add to his wife. Now I've got that right. Okay. And she became a servant to, and she said to her, it's not mistress. I'm going to put down, it was her name that's missing here. Okay. She said to her, I wish. And I just got done saying he's his wife, so can't say that it's your master. So I wish your husband. Oops, it's not that either. I still don't like the word wish. It's if your husband. I'm going to put if here. If your husband went to our prophet. And this would be Elijah or Elijah. So here's the word leprosy. He would cure his leprosy, which means he didn't have a lot of leprosy. He just caught it. Make these as 4 verse though. She became a servant wife, and she said to went to our prophet. Samaria is the capital city. So that seems to be right. This would be the other word. So he would cure his leprosy. Went and told his king, and this was said by 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 he would also call her a servant. So servant who is from Israel. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And his wife told him, I need a 4th verse there to make sure, because this is a separate subject here. went to his king and said, this was said, this and this. If I use two thises, this and this, was said by my servant. We don't need this. We've already introduced who that is. If I don't use two thises, this was said by my wife's servant. Now we have that a little bit more in line with what was been said before. So add two. This would have been two. This would have been two. So it goes the story. I don't have any text missing so far. Their king. Said, I will send you send us down here. So why is this not right here? Man, somehow I've scratched my eye and it's just itching me here in the corner. I put the word and here, and their king said, I will send you now, and I'll send a letter to the king for Israel. Let me go through here a little bit. Okay, that should be enough for right now. of 4. Now send a letter to the king for Israel. This would be okay as one number. 10 talents is like a large piece of silver, which is an incredible amount. And 6,000 shekels, there's no such, they wouldn't be trading in Israeli money. Man, that's oversalted if I've ever seen an oversalted word here. Yeah, like they were working on Israeli shekels, and I can see that they would have, but they didn't. I can see how the writer could get away with that, but they traded in silver, and they weighed it out to make sure. That's why Jesus talked about you had to have honest weights, and this has to be. So he went to Israel and took with him took silver and gold and he left taking with him silver and gold and changes of clothes. Now, changes of clothes. Why would that be there? Because that doesn't fit the 4 verse. This does. So this has to be something they added for the purpose of the story. And he brought the letter to the king for Israel. When it comes to this, has to be he's got to read it. I mean, like somebody's got to take this, because you just can't walk in these places. Samaria had a gate that you would have to pass with guards on it to get in, and you're Armenian, you're dressed in different type of clothing, they can tell you're not one of us. So he's got to approach the gate. He had to give it to the guard. The guard would have went in and told the king. He could have sent him as his servant to you, that you, for you to cure his leprosy. This is just too abrupt from one to another. Behold, it can't be hold. It's got to be now. I have sent. That doesn't read or doesn't flow right. Somewhere it has to be requesting that he heals. And from his life. Oh man, I hate it when they put things in there, and I know there's so much missing in the text here right now. This doesn't. At the gate, he gave the letter to give to our king. Now I could put the word requesting that you now. That isn't how it's going to play. I got to put all this in gray text first. Now, now that I've got this correctly in there, what else is this needed to be said that the king received the letter? And he had the letter read to him. Now, all this could be taken out, and this is what it said. Now I have sent servant to you. So I don't have the word, I got the word requesting. I got rid of this, put the word for in here. And had the letter read to him. I would need the word saying. Sent. So this has got to come out. This has got to come out. And it's got to be like that. Saying, I have sent. And then that makes sense. This has to be put in there, but maybe it's taken out later. But anyways, I think I've got the text now to the intent that it should have been the way it should have been. Saying, I have sent my servant to you for you to cure his leprosy. And it happened. Happened. The king sent a letter. Then clears clothes. It's got to be his robe. King wears robes. And it happened when it has to be this. And this happened. So I got to have this here. And I'm pretty much adding that. This happened. King heard when our king, and this happened when our king heard the letter, he tore his robe and said, Am I? This has to be the word, whoops. A raider. That this king and I'm thinking this is needed, that this king is sending for me to cure a male with leprosy. And that makes 4 verses. Seeking a quarrel against me. An argument. To his advisors. He said, consider and reason. Consider and reason. Why is he seeking an argument against me? That's okay. I see it that way. Elijah, this wouldn't have happened here. It tore his robe. That wouldn't make any sense that he would hear what that happened. See, they use the word happened here. Now it has to be that Elijah was told what was going on. So the thing here is we have to put the text that Elijah has been told by our Creator here. Otherwise, I'd be adding another paragraph that I don't think I should be doing at this time. Got rid of this word. And it happened from Elijah. Okay. Now we got the prophet. That's after Elijah. So now I've got that. So it's got to be this king here. Okay, it's got to be this king here that we're talking about. I got to introduce him somewhere here in the text. That would be all of this. Okay, now that makes sense to what we got as king. And it happened from Elijah that he sent So this means Elijah didn't do it himself, that he had an attendant do it. The attendant was sent to the king. This might have been their king. This one might have even been wrote from the scribes for Judah. Just because I could put the word their king here and it would be smoother, I think. Elisha's attendant was sent to our king. This I can't have that in there. That's just it's got to be send him to me. Elijah's attendant was sent to the king, saying, "Send him to me." This is reading more than 4 verse though. This is not good. That's 5 verses, and but what if I broke it here and said, in this, It happened. I still can't use the word when. Okay. And it happened. But this has to be still, I have to add the word but, and I can't use any of this. But Elijah, and we'd have to know it's his attendant, but Elijah sent to him. And that would make one verse. But Elijah sent to him, saying, send him to me, and you will know there is a prophet in Israel. That sounds better. Okay, my mic's working. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that when I'm seeing some of this stuff, I haven't checked the stream. Okay, that's okay. All right. Not went, he came in. Elijah lives within the city because Elijah did. And they followed with stood at the doorway for Elijah. And Elijah shouted to him, "Go and wash in the Jordan River." And your skin will be restored. As he went away, bad, as he went away, he said, "But he would surely come out to me." He said, "I thought he would would have," and I'm going to get rid of this and use this as the major, that he would have come out to me and call on the name and stand by me and stand by me and call out Whoops. To YV their I needed searchable for different ways they were doing this. So that's to YV their curator and wave his hand and cure leprosy. Where's the word leprosy here? Stand by me and call out to YV their curator and wave his hand to cure my leprosy. It's mad. And as he traveled on the road, to them, I thought. Oh, okay, I think I've got that all figured out now, because what I was thinking down here that what he's talking about, he had to be on the road, couldn't be in the city, he had been going out, and he's just leaving disappointed. This pointed. Well, I'm getting better at spelling after all these years. Okay. Now there's, I don't know this here. This doesn't make any sense why he would argue that he wouldn't send him over there. So I'm going to get rid of all this. His men. Came and said to him, and I got to have the word in here, if they're their prophet to, to do greatness, told you to do greatness, would you have not done it? So how much more so would he had not would he not have done it? Would you not have done it? So how much greater is it? So how greater is it when he says to you, wash and be restored? Um, He went and washed in the Jordan River according to his words, and his skin was restored. Okay, he says the same thing. Less words and in the old Hebrew format. Now comes these words. Now, this would be that he's not in the city, that he's living outside the city, because how is he going to get past the gate? So, all the way back up here, when she tells him, it's by Samaria. Okay. So, if I got that right now, he's got so, went. This has got to be somebody here. So now followed Yeah, I had to answer the phone. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's see. I got to go way back then. I think I appreciate the help. I'm thinking, when was the last time Anna was interrupted here? Okay, let me go back to here. No, I know it was before that. It was before that. Yeah, I was coming back here to this here because I had went up and looked, and then I come back down. Okay. When he returned to Elijah's home, I had to add this because I knew that he had now, when I was changing the text up here, that I knew that I had erred way back here. Where is it? Because I had to change the word in to by Samara. This. After I changed this word to by Samara, because now I understood the story was that he had to be able to return on his own. He didn't have to go back through the city in Samara. So I had to change the other words here. This is where it was. Had to come back here and say followed his attendant. And I finally got to put who had actually came to the king that Elijah sent here. So now I have him there. And then I could come back down here and where was it? Here, that I returned to finish this text up correctly. That now when he returned to Elijah's home, he stood at the door and he said, now I know there is a creator of everyone, not all, of everyone. Please take a gift of money from me. Now, I used the word money because he had silver and gold on him when he left. But Elijah said, I will take nothing. But he asked him again. I needed to add this because take didn't make any sense. And then I had to add it. And again, he refused him because I couldn't say he just refused him. Or I could have put he refused him. But no, I was better with the word again. Then I'm worried about here. Yes. He's asked me if I'm going to be able to read the text when I'm done. So let me add here in the chat. That's one part that I've got done. That's part one. And then this here is part two. And that you can just look over. That's not in correct order or not. It's still kind of rough. I don't have all the chapters cleaned up because I'm still sorting out where the text goes, but you can see from those two where it's going to go. And I need to get on my website and reload up what I've got. So you're welcome. So right now it's this, I'm lazy right now. I'm trying to sell my house, so I'm kind of cleaning things up. So yeah, I should do what you're saying or what you're requesting for. I'm sorry about that. So, because I have got like 280 pages done so far. So that would be good to see that in order because I've added so much more to what I've just posted there, but that gives you an idea what the text will look like as I'm going forward. Because I only have one more book to do, and then I'm going to get into all that. So if you stop by within a month, maybe a month and a half, I know I'll have all the text up. I don't think it's going to take me that long to do all the text I need to do right now. So, but this here is he's got to be promised, then promised, and it's your servant will no longer it's more of this no longer offer sacrifices to other gods, only to YV. So got that. And my mic is working, thank you very much. In this matter, may YV pardon your servant. And in and oops, I don't need that. Needs to be done. And this matter let YV pardon me when my king so he has to be like his right hand trusted commander here, so that's why he would be able to send him to the king with a request. He wouldn't deny him. When my king goes into our temple, this will be this to worship there, and he leans on my hand. To worship there. I don't think this is needed. To worship there, and I bow myself in the house of this. It's kind of odd that he would be saying it this way. Pardon your servant. Yes. He already knows, we know that let me pardon this matter. Okay. Because when he goes in with his king, he has to worship. Okay. In this matter, let YV pardon me when my king goes into our temple to worship there, and I bow myself. Let YV to, well, I guess we would have to know what's in a temple, and that would be a false idol of their operator. So now in Elijah said, "Go in peace." From him and was not a far distance. Because now you got to figure the next part. Oops. Okay, because this guy's got to run out. Now this guy cannot. He's followed Elijah since the Jordan River when he knew Elijah had ascended. So I guess I gotta say one of. I just have to remove his name here because he wouldn't be so. I really got to believe that this guy is. It would be there's more attendants. There's just one inside this house. No, this attendant. But gotta have thought there. This doesn't mean anything. Is now it's got to be under him, so it's a Lord. The Lord provides. So, like to say that he had a servants with him as well, besides as a personal attendant. Because I think this guy goes and anoints somebody here, Jehu, I think soon. So this here has to be like that. And now the word servant does play out. And it has to be a servant. A servant thought his Lord No, I don't need this. Yes. Well, this is getting what is going on here. A servant thought his Lord by not receiving gift. They're not receiving money. I will take some from him. It's almost like a neighbor next to him did this. I just don't see this as how he has more than one servant or one attendant. One, two, three, four, five. Guess I better put him here. Take care of this here. He came down from his chariot. No. And when he caught up, when he met him, He asked. This has got to be a question asked. It's got to be what is it, not as all is well. That makes no sense. You'd be wanting to know why he come, and a commander would say, ask him, what is he ask him what? So well, not that. He wouldn't ask him, is it good? Well would mean it is good. So, is it good? This is when he met him, he asked, I don't think I need this. He asked him, what is it? This is meaning like, what is it you want to know, or what is it? That's the best I can come up with right now. What is it? He said, my Lord, which would be Elijah, sent me to ask you one, two, three, four. They didn't have this. Now we know why that word was the pieces of silver. Yes, this is more yellow. This is not true. Don't need to know this. Just know and came. Don't need this. Let's give them pieces of silver. Please take it's got to be a larger number than 2. So this has to be silver. See, it wasn't shekels, it was silver, by the way. I'm just going to put 10 because that's a good amount of money, and he would be really wanting to thank him anyway. So 2 is not much. 2 silver. This would be wrong. This isn't making any sense. And this is not making any sense. So it's coming down to this verse and give them to the men, because we know that we just got done saying that there were men. So this be like this. Now I've got because this doesn't make any sense, so I don't need the word. So when he took them from his hand, so he took them from his hand, the silver, and sent them to the men. Sent them to the men. Then stood before this has to be his name, Elijah. Now it's getting to sound like it is this guy here. So it's sad to see this guy because he was supposed to be a good guy to begin with. His attendant thought his lord, by not receiving money, We'll take some from him. Sad to see that guy not paying attention and thinking of money. So Elijah was living paycheck to paycheck, day to day. Didn't try to keep too much on. Just him. To pee. I went out to shop. I went out walking, I guess, is the only thing I can think of that would be. Okay, I got 4. I was thinking 3. So now this is as a reply. See, Paul. Through here. What he said to him. Went with you. Not my heart, my mind. Go went, same thing. To receive money. Yeah, that's the 4. for his leprosy. He be given you, oops, wrong thing, will be given. And I think that's two subjects there, this you and being given. It has to be you, well, you forever. So he went out with leprosy in his arms. Leprosy in his arms. Okay, time for a cleanup here. Okay, here's the text I just done. This would be 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. Now let me see if I got that right. That did this actually fit in here? 2. Story's breaking, right? Yep, I got it right because this here is like another story started. This would be 1. And that means that I cut it right because now this is starting another story. Okay, now he's got to return, so there's one space. This I've got to somewhere this has got to be cleaned up here. But 1 and then 2. It looks like I'm going to have 4 missing here. Like it's going to start the next story for Elijah. Okay, that is pretty good today. Got a good story. At least it had something here to be actually found and read. And we'll be keeping that. And I really got to apologize. I got to get that website up and going. I hate that because I got to set another password every time I go. This does not keep the password for me unless I go weekly. All right. That means I need to thank the gentleman from YouTube there, so I didn't speak the rest of the time without it. I hope I don't need to go back. I think I caught up. I hope I didn't miss anything. But you've heard me speak enough that you should already know that a lot of what I'm doing has been said before with these words and why I'm changing them.